Hello there guys, welcome back to the channel. So week 4 Eternity of Pain is here, and this time it's a very nasty setup for a fight. So we're gonna break it down very quickly. I'm gonna show 3 solos of the champions that I used. I actually re-recorded a new set of solos after the stream, and then I'm gonna give the options that I think would work the best overall. So the nastiness of this setup is effective combination in between crit me with your best shot, power shield, and Warlock's ability of preventing critical hits on special attacks if he has an armor up active. So therefore, immediately by definition, you discount vast majority of the champions in the game, because unless you are able to get rid of Warlock's armor up, well, you're not gonna deal any damage. No damage over time effects work, no bursts of damage really work, nothing. You can only deal damage via critical hits. And then on top of it all, your basic attacks will deal no damage, your special attacks will deal 400% of the damage. However, if they do not crit, they also deal no damage. Now, in order to help you out, we have Critical Interruption, which basically lets you have guaranteed crits for 7 seconds if you do perform an intercept, which is going to be a vital component here. And the last 2 nodes are just to kind of muddy the waters here, where Warlock gains a power gain passive, granting him some power every time you get inflicted with a debuff. On top of it, he does have like a Jabari Panther type of cleanse mechanic active on him, and that will also power drain you if it triggers. And then we have Clean Slate, which periodically grants him immunity. So it is a very nasty setup, even if you can use like almost all the champions in the game. On top of it all, they have set very specific requirements, which I wasn't fan of at all. I think this time around, the fight requirements for the objectives were a bit much, so to speak. Right. So we're going to start with the first one, which is a tech objective. I do think Warlock is the best option. I do slip up here at the beginning. It takes a bit of practice. The important thing to note is that cleanse only purifies 1 debuff. So you do not have to get rid of it before you launch your special attack with infection on. That is super important. You need to make sure that the infection is active as you activate your special attack. And obviously you need to perform an intercept. Another key advice in this fight is leave him alone after he throws his special attack to let that immunity expire quicker. That was one of the biggest reasons why I kind of struggled with this fight initially. You do want to make sure that that immunity has expired and nothing's really happening. So after his special attack, you do want to leave him alone and make sure that there is no immunity. Then you perform your intercept, and then you can throw your special attack. And in this fight, I am using 200% Cosmic Power Boost. I do have Liquid Courage Double Edge active. You can obviously do this fight without it, but with Power Boost, this fight is infinitely easier on virtually all of the champions that you use, maybe except further on with Venom Pool. As you can see, under a minute, 64 hits, basically just kind of like 3 consecutive level 2s with Power Boost. I didn't use any other boosts here, just 200% Tech Power Boost. And I did have Liquid Courage Double Edge active for this fight, but I don't have Liquid Courage Double Edge on for the next fights that I'm going to showcase. Also, important thing, since it is Warlock, you do want to disable your Willpower Mastery for all the fights that you're not using a robot for, basically. Hood, in general, I think is the easiest champion to get the solo in overall. It took me very few tries to get the solo in the first time around, and it took me even less tries to get in the solo the second time around. I got the solo, like, again on the first try. The reason why it is so easy and safe with Hood and a power boost, ideally, you can definitely do without a power boost, but it's easier with power boost. It's because of your phasing and basically your ability to get in guaranteed intercepts. So you never really have to worry about, you know, getting hit in the face when you're trying to intercept, if you're playing this right. So we can see that with power boosts, thanks to power shield, you're regaining fairly substantial amount of health back. So here we can see that I decided to play safe. I will try and trigger invisibility again, get in my guaranteed intercept, get to close to 3 bars of power, drop my level 2. I'm back again for another level 2. And another level 2. Here he activates his level 2. I would have probably finished him off if he didn't, but it's all good. So I get an intercept here again. He's at 9%. So it's kind of like a level 2 first, thanks to Hood's stagger, thanks to Hood's passive Fate Seal. It's just a level 2 first. There is no point in detonating your bullets. I don't think there is point, because I don't think they will do any damage. But again, your guaranteed crits on special attacks is where this is going to be at. So as you can see here, unfortunately here he used his level 1. That's fine though. And I think... Oh no, I didn't mess up. Perfect. Very quick, very easy fight here with Hood as well. And the power boost. So using power boost definitely helps you with this fight so much more. And the last one, the one that goes with A-Force, I actually did with a 5-star OG Scarlet Witch. And I still have the same power boost on, because obviously she's a Mystic champion as well. And this fight I actually found quite cool. Out of all of the negative matchmaking that has been done here, this fight in particular I actually really enjoyed, because the guaranteed crit node kind of supercharged Scarlet Witch. Now here obviously I did misshoot my level 2 because he did get his armor buff. So I had a very bad start of the fight, but that's fine. We're just gonna kind of like recompose ourselves. Here I drop one level 2, I get a decent chunk of power back. And now we're trying to get for another level 2. We need to nullify that armor up, which is fine. He used his level 2, perfect. Again, just get in those intercepts. And as soon as you do, you have the guaranteed crits, which will let your abilities trigger. Now I have like 96 crit. I think I have had like 180k most biggest crit in one of my tries. Here we go. He's at 73%. Again, I'm just trying to get in that intercept. Unfortunately, he's at the bar of power, but we still do it. Again, I misshoot another level 2. So at this point, this fight could have been close to over. But it's all good. We're gonna recover. I'm at 41% health here. I drop a level 1 just because I tried to push him 2 bars of power, but I successfully power drained him. Another special attack there. And get my intercept suite. Another intercept. He's power locked. I'm gonna go for a level 2, 130k. Gives me back a ton of power. I'm gonna go in for a full combo. 158k. And here at this point I really just need to throw in another special attack with 148k. So 3 big specials in a row, and Scarlet Witch gets in the solos here as well. So Scarlet Witch works perfectly fine for the A-Force objective. Right, so those were the solo showcase and the fight breakdown. Let's go to the end and go over the best options. So we have 3 objectives. For Thronebreakers, we need to have control, counter, and tech. You can get both in one fight, but I don't really recommend doing that. You can use Vulture or Howard the Duck if you have them ranked up, and they will get the job done. They technically can get the job done because both have access to armor break. It's just going to probably take some revives. Now for control counter in general, in my opinion, the easiest option is the Hood. The second easiest option probably is Venom Pool. It's a long fight, but you do get constant access to regeneration, and you just need to make sure that you spam your level 1s. You never need to worry about infection because you're going to have a ton of buffs. And it's a fairly long, tedious fight. It was a champion that I used at the very beginning of the stream, and it was clear that it works. I did use a couple of tries. I messed up somewhere in the middle with my rank 2 Venom Pull, but it's definitely very much soloable with Venom Pull. Now, Sim Supreme apparently does work as well, super well. I haven't tried it out myself, but we do have additional options that, you know, are unlikely to get the solos, but definitely champions that can enter this fight and do some damage in Vulture, Howard the Duck, Heimdall, Null, and Airwalker. I think Heimdall actually can be quite decent as well. Now with tech class, again, your key requirement is access to armor breaks or ability to get rid of opponent's armor breaks. So Warlock seems to be the best option. I do think Hulkbuster can put in quite a lot of work as well. But with Hulkbuster, it's quite a lot more dependent on proper timing, because with Hulkbuster, you need to make sure that you remove that cleanse before you activate your special attack. So it's kind of tricky. Iron Man Finty War, can get it done. It's definitely not going to be a solo because he has no buffs. Infections can be persistent at all times, but he can get it done as well. Punisher 2099 I think also works. He has armor breaks on level 2. You just need to make sure that you get rid of cleanse. Same thing with War Machine. Just need to make sure that you get rid of that cleanse before you do trigger your armor break. Then we have Vulture, Howard the Duck, as I mentioned before. Yondu has access to armor break as well in tech class. And then Sentinel. Build up your charges and use your level 1s for guaranteed armor breaks. And now the last Paragon objective really has 4 champions that even can begin to do damage. For the last Paragon objective, there's quite literally only 8 champions in that class overall that are A-Force. And I'm going to bring them up on the screen in a second. But 4 champions can actually do damage in that fight. And that, by definition, in my opinion, is just very, very poor design of the Eternity of Pain fight. So, Scarlet Witch, as I demonstrated, Sigil Witch works well also. You do need to have, you know, fairly decent luck there. It can be finicky, but it definitely is doable, especially if you run MD, especially if you put on some Mystic Power Boost. Then we have CMM, armor breaks for days. You can get shocked on purpose with CMM to get those charges quicker as well and make them last longer. And then we have Kamala Khan, who also can nullify that armor up and start dealing damage to Warlock. But what am I gonna showcase just before the end of this video right here is, once again, we can see this is A-Force objective. It's quite literally only 8 champions out of 228. And then we have She-Hulk, who has absolutely no way of dealing damage in that fight. We have Rogue, who has no way of dealing damage in that fight. Then we have Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, both of whom who have no way of dealing damage in this fight. So quite literally, we have only 4 champions that can even begin to do the fight. And it's not like all of these are perfect or excellent options. It's not like all of them are great champions. And that is what kind of got me thinking and further. Scarlet Witch Sigil, pretty much champion for paying players. Yes, she has been in the arena once, but that's it. Then we have Scarlet Witch OG, who is still a fairly rare champion, very recently added to the 5-star crystals. And then there's CMM and Kamala Khan. And neither one of those are champions that people, you know, CMM fair enough. Some people, you know, people have been ranking her up, not Kamala Khan so much. So this by definition is atrocious way of setting these objectives. I'm sure that there are going to be people who, you know, don't have any of these champions ranked up, and, you know, maybe has, like, I don't know, Kamala Khan, or how to rank up 5-star now just because of this thing. And it's just such a bad way to design Eternity of Pain fight. I really dislike that. Just the idea that, you know, 3/4 of champions in this game cannot do a single damage point to Warlock in itself is, you know, not cool in my opinion. I liked Overseer fight because it was, you know, hard, it was punishing, it was, you know, difficult. But this one, I'll probably cover it more tomorrow, but I don't think the fight is designed to be able to support this narrow objectives. Either way, hope this video was helpful to you, and if it was, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the